What is it that keeps you going to work every day?
So people look at Green School Bali, literally look at it, and they see a school in the jungle that's made of bamboo. You could take the school and bury it in the ground, and it should all compost. They see like lawlessness. They see our 17 dogs. They see the fact that you got kids just dirty, and in the jungle, we're all dirty and gross. They see, the fact that there's not a single rubbish bin on campus. They see the fact that our goal is to have the recycling bins be empty because you don't even bring stuff that you can recycle or that should be recycled. You always use it. They see all this stuff and they're like, wow, that's amazing. The architecture, the bamboo, wow. But really, what's beautiful about, but that could be a bank, right? So what's beautiful about Green School Bali is that we have a culture, a yes culture, where we move to flatten the hierarchies as much as possible, and where young people take on learning that contributes to community, that does things so that the learning is applied into projects, not always, but most of the time, to make sure that we deepen our relationships and reciprocity with all living things on Earth. Some might focus more on the human, some might focus more on whatever the dogs or the other than human. But effectively, that's what we're looking at, a school that's able to adjust and do what's right for young people. And we're very lucky because it's an elite school, let's just call it. But we're very lucky that we are able to pivot and move and do things that we need. We're at a
Mm.
school, and I could go on for a long time here, but I'll end it here. We're at a school where the student association is a full-fledged class that meets 4 hours a week, and any policy that the school wants to pass has to include young people at the table to write and implement the policy. And the only way that could stop is if we wrote another policy, which means that the students would have to write themselves out of it. And so then we have like systems here, right? And they're able to go do things and be confident and decide and carry responsibility. That's what I find beautiful. And while not every school can be in the jungle, every single school can have a student association that writes and implements policies and sits at the table and dines with the other people in the school, the adults.
Benjamin, my mind is spinning and I'm very seldom speechless. I mean, do you think that's true? And also, if you think it's true, why is that the case? Why do you think there is this deep dissatisfaction for the way education has been done for so long?
I want to say a lot of people say the schools are broken. I think they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
There's nothing that schools are doing that isn't, in the DNA of schools. Sort kids out, send them off to the world of work, make sure that what worked for those in the past is going to work for them in the future. Like there's nothing to hide about this. We're still
Mm.
favoring literacy and math. Math because, when Sputnik went out, we decided that math and science were important. All of this is the same. People talk about AI as if it's revolutionary. It's not. You're just doing the same thing with a different tool, like
Mm.
expediting that. So schools are doing what they're trying to do, but there's a lot of people who are saying this isn't right. I don't feel good. My kids don't feel good. It doesn't feel right. There's a discontent.
Mm.
But much like with everything, that's a consciousness. But how might we consider other ways of doing school? So in that sense, there's that frustration because nothing changes. There's always governments that impose curriculum. Schools are still measured on test results, which don't serve anyone but the schools and the sorting mechanisms. Many people are crying out, but they don't know. And then there's the fear, and this is the very real one. There's a fear of, well, what now? Like, I got to make sure my kids are going to university. I got to make sure that the students are going there because the university system is still based on this sorting system. And there's a whole mechanism out there, a whole
Mm.
world out there beyond education that means that the system is working as it is. That said, and just quickly ending here, there's very little things that we can do if we all tended to our patch of grass that could move that system in different ways. And it kind of pushes on that system or eventually it'll tilt. We just
Mm.
have to be confident and just do whatever we can and maybe
Mm.
take risks.